what's a map unit symbol? The map unit symbol for the first one was GUC. But if you're not in the right place on your map, you may be getting a VAD, a Vandalia on a D slope. Well, you missed the question because you didn't get the position right. And if you didn't get that position right and that question right, you're almost guaranteed to miss the land capability class and several other topsoil textures, those kind of things, because a lot of things on the test are dependent upon where you are. So if you spend any of the time, the more time you spend on being able to identify where you are, the better off the students are going to be in the end. Let's see. So what type of soil has a restrictive layer called a fragipan? Well, look for that. Go to the description go to the map unit description, kind of in the back someplace, any of the map unit descriptions, and see if there's an X. If there's a little X in the let's see, what's a good fragipan soil? Oh my gosh.
GXF on here.
What is it?
Helpful? GXF? I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay. No, that's not. That, yeah, it'll be in the description of the soil. It'll be. Yeah, it'll be something in the properties and qualities section. See, depth of restrictive feature here. It's got a fragipan. So Buchanan gravelly loam, BUE. If you look at the properties and qualities section, depth of restrictive feature is 20 to 32 inches. So if the question was what soil has a fragipan, then Buchanan would be your answer, okay? But if you didn't get the right spot, then you're maybe missed that question. Let's see. Soil texture is made up of what? There are three things. Three things that make up soil texture. Sand, silt, and clay. Yep. Okay. It's the textural triangle, right? What's the most important thing for available water? Rock fragments really limit it, so they're not good to have a lot of water in. A bedrock limits how much water you can hold. So how much rainfall doesn't matter, because who cares? It doesn't have anything to do with how much water the soil can hold. Soil texture has everything to do with how much water the soil can hold. So soil texture would be the most important thing for available water. And then, where on the landscape are you? So are you on a stream terrace, an upland, alluvial fan, or a floodplain? If that was a question right now, what would you say we were on? A stream terrace? We're on a slope? Probably not. An alluvial fan, where it's convex, probably not alluvial fan, because alluvial fans are depositional, so they'll be pretty much linear type of shapes. A floodplain, well, I don't think we flood here, so we're not going to be that. Foot slope, there could be an argument for a foot slope, because there's a lot of hill behind y'all, and there's not much hill this way. So there's an argument for a foot slope, or this could be an upland. And these are the choices that were on this particular question. So I'd call this an upland. This soil does not look like it's colluvium, and colluvium would have been moved by gravity. So those are the kind of questions you'll get. What's the pH of the topsoil at your site? You missed it if you missed your spot. If you didn't get your location right, you missed that question because you probably picked a loamy sand instead of the silt loam.
Now, when you're talking about location, are you talking about like physically them going out and finding their spot on the map?
On the
map. Or are you talking about them knowing where they are?
You'll have to look at the map and say, okay.
So they have to actually go to what's X'd on the map.
Yeah, well, that's where the pit's going to be.
Okay. Well, that's what I was wondering.
There's not going to be an X on the map.
No.
The map is going to look like the one back here in the back someplace.
So when they're at the pit, they have to know. They have to figure out where they're at.
Figure out where they're at.
That's
And
what I was
use all your
confused.
visual
What
clues.
you meant by that? Like
Yeah.
if they had to actually go out and find the X and
no.
dig the hole.
No, yeah. There'll be no. There's just going to be a map in front of them with nothing there, and they got to figure out where they are.
Okay.
And the clue of that building, that pond, the
Right.
road.
Yes.
These trees versus those trees.
Okay.
Use all the visual that they can identify with, and then
To
put it down
properly
there.
locate where they are.
And we will, when the pit's put into place, we won't be. We really close. We really try not to be close to a line. So you're right. If you're right in the middle of that big polygon
Yeah.
of gilpin on that sea slope, GUC or something. Okay. It's not going to be. Oh my gosh, am I on this or this? And it's
Yeah.
we're not going to be 10 feet away from a line where you don't know. We're going to be in the middle. There's a lot of help. I know there's been some discussion about websites. Web Soil Survey gives you official USDA NRCS soil survey data. I don't want to tell you what to do, but if you were to go and make an area of interest of Kakapen State Park, you'd get an idea of what to look at, and, things to talk about. But there's also on the NRCS webpage. There's also a lot of teaching guides that you can look up, and you have your area. I don't know where'd you come from?
I'm very near Susan.
Okay, so y'all. So
Hampshire,
Tim
Randolph
Delaplane is basically your resource soil scientist. He's out of Morgantown. He's got more experience than I do. He's an outstanding source for information. You can always call me at the state office. You can call my boss at the state office, Jared Beard. If you have any questions, we're happy to help out. And I think I covered everything. Y'all have any questions at all? There's a lot of information, I know.
Yeah, I feel like I was in Agronomy 101 all over again.
Yes.
I'm like, I remember this, but I slept a lot in that class.
Oh, you didn't just admit that to me. How could you admit that to me? Oh. When
I was getting some flashbacks.
Yeah, I'm like, I know this.
15.
When I taught at WVU, I make sure if anybody ever fell asleep in my class, there was a test. There was a pop quiz that day.
I had done.
So sand, silt, and clay.
Sand, silt, and clay are the three particle sizes that are in a soil texture. Yes.
So are you actually going to do it?
So yeah, I don't know if everybody knows that it's just its size. That
okay,
silt and clay are sizes.
Okay, yeah, good point.
They may know.
Yeah. So sand. Just real quick. Sand is. Let's see. It's 0.0. What the heck is it? I don't know. Sand's the biggest part. I don't. It's been so long since I've memorized those. Clay's the next. Is the smallest, and silt's in between. Clay is 0.002 centimeters in diameter or smaller. Silt goes up to 0.05, and then sand goes up to, I think it's 0.2. I think it's 0.2. So sand's just big, silt's smaller, clay's the smallest, and anything above a sand is a rock fragment, and we do not include that in the texture. We'll sieve that out so that we're only getting the finer part of the soil. So.